Welcome to BibleTelling, Story of the Week. Usually when you hear a story about Samuel, it's Samuel and somebody else. You have Samuel and his mother, Hannah. You have Samuel and Eli, Samuel and Saul, Samuel and David. Well, this story is the only story in the Bible, at least the only one that I tell, that is just about Samuel himself. Listen to it, come back later, and I'll tell you a little bit more about this prophet. Enjoy the story. People of Israel slowly turned back to God. This was a process that took about 20 years. Finally, Samuel said to them, "If it's true that you want to serve God, then put away your idols. Dedicate yourself to God and Him alone. Do this, and He'll give you victory over the Philistines." The people did what he said. They put away their idols. Prophets told him to come to a dedication service. He said, "Come, and I will pray for you." The people came and they dedicated themselves to the Lord. And from that day on, Samuel was their judge. The people of the Philistines heard about this gathering and thought it was an act of war. They invaded the land and prepared to attack Israel. The people were shocked to see such a massive Philistine army. Samuel said, "Don't look at your enemies. Focus on God and pray to Him, and He'll give you victory over the Philistines." Then Samuel prepared a sacrifice and prayed to God and asked for help. And the Lord heard his prayer. Suddenly a sound of thunder went through the Philistine camp. They were confused and afraid and started to run. The men of Israel chased after them and killed many of them. After their victory, Samuel set up a huge stone in memorial of what had happened that day. He called it Ebenezer, which means rock of help. He said, "The Lord has helped us up to this point." The Lord fought against the Philistines throughout Samuel's life. The prophet set up a circuit, an annual circuit, so that he could judge the people better. The rest of the year, he judged them from his hometown. Years went by, and when he became an old man, he appointed his sons to be judges as well, but they didn't have his integrity. They accepted bribes and judged accordingly. The people came to Samuel and said, Your sons are not just. Therefore, we want to be like the other nations and have a king. Before you die, find one for us." Samuel was shocked. He couldn't believe they would ask for such a thing. He prayed, and the Lord said, "Don't be offended. The people have not rejected you. They have rejected me. Do what they say, but first tell them what it'll be like to have a king." So Samuel stood before the people. He explained to them how a king would abuse them and take advantage of them. He said, "He will take away your sons and they'll work for him rather than you. They'll serve in his military or just serve him personally. He'll take your daughters and put them to work. He'll take your best fields, your orchards, and your vineyards for his own use. He will tax you so that he can live in luxury. you'll become his servants. And you'll work to fulfill his every whim. When all this happens, then you'll complain to the Lord, but he will not listen to you. The people ignored these warnings. They yelled at Samuel, "We want to be like the other nations. Give us a king. He will be our judge, and he will go out and fight our battles for us." The Lord told Samuel to do as they said. The prophet then told the people to go home, and he would find them a king. Samuel is truly one of the great men of the Old Testament. He was the last of the Israel judges before you go into the kings. And most people consider that he is the greatest of all of the judges. He was also a priest, and he was also a prophet. Actually, after Samuel, you keep running into what's called the school of the prophets. King Saul was involved with the school of the prophets. You have Elijah, all the way through the rest of the Old Testament, you have the school of the prophets. It's not before Samuel. Tradition holds that more than likely Samuel started it. But I personally hold that he didn't start it to be for adults, as it ended up to be, but it was started to educate the children. Israel was an illiterate nation. They couldn't read the law of God because they couldn't read. They couldn't write. They didn't memorize. I hold that Samuel started the school of the prophets to reach out and to educate the children. We see that King Saul was probably illiterate, but David knew how to read. David probably wasn't a student of Samuel himself, but probably one of the prophets probably went to Bethlehem and taught the children, which included David, to read. So you have Samuel the judge, one of the great judges, the greatest probably. The priest, you have him as the prophet, and Samuel the educator. Moses set up education, but Samuel instituted and it moved on. Well, a great man. Come to our website, BibleTelling.org. A lot of things you can see right there. You can download our free book, Beginnings, first of 5 books of all the stories of the Bible. Starting next week, we're going to tell you about our upcoming Christian Storytelling Conference, which happens every June. I'll give you more information about that next week. For now, just plan to come back next week and be with us as we continue on with the stories through 1 Samuel on BibleTelling, Story of the Week. We sure want you to come back next week.